Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to take your seats, and a reminder that there are seats up the front and plenty over here, stage left, if you need somewhere to sit, and we will get underway. Good morning and welcome to the Novotel Parramatta and to the Western Sydney Leadership Dialogues 2018 Out There Summit. I'm Rowan Barker, your MC for the day. Thank you for joining us for what is a packed program, including the Lachlan Macquarie Lecture, our Leadership Awards and the Pemulwuy Prize. There are bios for all your speakers in the program that you'll see in front of you on the desk. Also with that, you'll find a feedback form. We'd love to get your thoughts throughout the day. So if you'd like to fill that in as the day goes along and hand it in at the end of the day, that would be terrific. Thank you very much. Thank you also to our sponsors for their support, our event partners, the New South Wales Government, represented through School Infrastructure New South Wales, and our event sponsors, Accor Hotels, the Australian Racing Drivers Club, the City of Campbelltown, Celestino, City of Parramatta, Deloitte, NAB, Southwestern Sydney Local Health District, Sydney Water, TAFE New South Wales, Western Sydney Local Health District and Western Sydney University. Now, during the day, please tweet about the conference using the hashtag OutThere18 and the WSL Dialogue handle up on the screen behind me. We'll also be fielding audience questions for the panel sessions through Twitter using the OutThere18 hashtag and WSL Dialogue handle as well. Or you can text us on 0420 534 585. That's 0420 534 585. Now please welcome Rhiannon Wright for the Welcome to Country.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to acknowledge and pay my respects to Aboriginal elders, both past and present. I would also like to give a special acknowledgement to the Parramatta people on whose land we meet here today. We are Darug, born of this land, born of the spirit. We have walked this land since the dreaming. Darug Clanlands embraces the land, rivers and seas, from the Blue Mountains to the ocean, from Hawkesbury in the north and down as far as Appin in the south. Our ancestors' voices are echoed in our own, as we still live in these changed but beautiful places. Our mothers and grandmothers are our teachers. They teach us of the dreaming, our language and our culture, as their mothers before taught them. Our bodies and minds carry the seeds of their wisdom, the memories from a different past. We may not look the way our ancestors did, we may not live the way they did, but we are still here, and we have 60,000 years of culture in our blood and in our hearts. Our language is an important part of maintaining our culture, as you'll hear today, a way of passing on the old ways of our people. Now I will welcome you in our language and then translate into English for you. Tiadi Mara Daraga Pemul, Koe Maria Pemul, Nungaringa Babuna, Ben Nyan Mawaranang, Nai Dijigai Diani Ngami Jaralang, Ningaringa Tiati, Ningaringa Ningami Gai, Gui Williangara, Gunagal da Gunagal, the Laloi Mugu Kopalan Ngami, Digilaloi near Trimi Gunagal, Jamnia Tiati, Ningaringa Eora Jamna, Mitika Garang Barak, Nidida Daraga Pemul, Didjurigo. This is Darug lands. It is the land of our ancestors. Their spirits still walk among us, spirits that have been here since the dreaming. Our language and our culture have been passed down from generation to generation to continue an unbroken culture that has extended for thousands of years. In the language of our people, I welcome you to Darug lands. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhiannon. I'd like, just before we start, to acknowledge the Honourable Rob Stokes, Minister for Education, who will deliver our opening address shortly. Education is one of our key themes today, and we're pleased the Minister's been able to squeeze us into his busy schedule. But as we are gathered in Parramatta today, who better to officially welcome you all than the Lord Mayor of Parramatta, Councillor Andrew Wilson.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for having your meeting in my city today. I'd like to begin, of course, by acknowledging the Parramatta people of the Darug Nation and pay respects to their elders past and present. And when I look down, I could spend the rest of my time really acknowledging people in this room. You're a fantastic bunch, but I hope you forgive me that I don't go right through the list because it's going to take all my time. So I will, of course, acknowledge Minister Stokes and thank him for coming here. Chris Brown, who's done such a lot for Western Sydney. David Borgia. John Brogden, who we all know has devoted his life to the people of New South Wales. Patricia Prosev. And like I say, I could continue on this. And had you said to me back in '99, when I was first elected, that they were going to spend $2 billion on a light rail system, I would have popped champagne corks. We would have been cheering. We'd put up, named a street after somebody. But when I look at things today, that is barely adequate. I have budgets that I could only dream of a few years ago. And yet, when I look at the amount of density, as you look at it, the $500 million museum that the state government has made in this city, at least $500 million, it was 600 and something million in the press, I believe. And as with most government projects, forgive me if I'm a bit cynical of where the figure will finally end up. But when you stop and you think for a second, if they had given me $50 million for Riverside 20 years ago, again, we'd have been overjoyed. When I look at 2 million people to our west who have not had a major cultural icon spent, who have paid their taxes, and look at these big buildings around us. We have poured money, and a great deal of it has ended up in that great retirement village that Clover Moore is trying to build in the east, But we have made this contribution, and our taxpayers have a right to expect that they're going to get a share. And that is why I'm so glad that a high-powered group like this will coordinate our activities, because what I like about them in Ultimo and the Parts East is that they know how to fight their corner. They never give up. They keep on running through things. They keep laying guilt trips on you. One lady says she's going to take back her jewellery collection from the powerhouse. Well, we apparently have warehouses full of things from museums that are not currently displayed, and if you really don't like the children of Western Sydney that much that you're not prepared to put your jewellery out for them, well, I suppose we can live without it. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a contest. They came up to me when we were doing our Australia Day thing, and I mentioned all the great stuff we were doing. And they said, how are you going to compete with Sydney? I said, we're not competing with Sydney, we are Sydney. That we can working together and looking at it as one city and doing things based on logic. And don't you like how they get in the press and they hammer that idea? No, we can't have this economic rationalism where we actually add up the benefit to the most number of people. That just doesn't work, does it? No, we get to get what we had last year, and if we've got a full theatre sitting there in the city and it's only got no room for increased audiences, well, we can get someone out from the States, or we can get them from Germany with the extra money. We wouldn't put it out west. No. So if I sound a little bitter, I am, and I really understand those councillors to our west who are now saying, well, Parramatta's getting everything, aren't they? So it never ends. But I really welcome you today. You're a fantastic group of people, and I love that you're in my city. Thank you.